focus now. About 2,000 Sibanye-Stillwater workers could be jobless. The company plans to enter into talks with organized labor and other affected stakeholders regarding the possible restructuring of its South African gold operations. The company says this is due to ongoing losses at its Beatrix 4 shaft and the impact of depleting mineral reserves at its Kloof 1 plant. Trade Union Solidarity says it will engage with Sibanye-Stillwater to try and avoid retrenchments. I'm joined now by the union's General Secretary, Gideon du Plessis, who joins me for that conversation. So this notice of Section 189, Mr. du Plessis, coming through just in the last, day or so from Sibanye-Stillwater, did it come as a surprise to you?
Well, to this way, no, but it's obviously the worst Christmas card that the employees could receive. But during the wage negotiations on the gold side, they were hinting towards it. But then also we were expecting, straight after the platinum negotiations being completed, that this process will follow. But we have also engaged, around this specific areas of these mines for a long time, 2013, 2017, and over the past 18 months. So we were expecting it, but obviously, this is never, a pleasant process to enter into.
Yeah. Your sense then of the realities that Sibanye is pointing to, I see one of their officials being quoted on Mining MX. This is Richard Stewart talking about how, there's a depletion of the ore reserves at Beatrix 4 and Kloof 1. Basically, some of these issues have to do with the difficulties in gold mining, some of which were flagged as early as 2017. Do you buy these arguments, or do you believe that, it's an easy way out for the company?
Look, obviously, the last thing we want to see is for anybody to lose his or her job. What we refer to as members, the company refer to them employees, and we all, don't want to see anybody lose his or her job. So obviously, if we enter into the negotiations or the consultation, the company will do all the necessary presentations. Normally, they allow us to even send auditors to have a look at it. But, in 2017, we've signed an agreement that makes provision for a continuous period of 3 months for the specific mines to make a profit. And if they drop and into a loss-making situation for more than 3 months, we will enter into a negotiation. And we were very concerned when the strike commenced earlier this year at those specific mines. And I know a majority of the mine workers voted against striking because we were concerned about that continuous month period, that we will get into a situation where we have to engage around the 189. But nevertheless, we had good experiences also in the past with Sibanye finding employment for the majority of employees, if not all of them. And that is the attitude that we will go into. We know that the specific shaft, it dates back to 1986. So obviously we enter into the phase where a lot of shafts get mined out, unfortunately, but hopefully, we can find jobs for all of those employees that who are affected at the moment.
But how, Mr. du Plessis, how are we here when Neil Froneman, in an interview with Maverick Business just a few months ago, was talking about how the company as a group, quote unquote, shot the lights out in terms of its performance, revenue up 35%, and all of those figures. I get that these two shafts have been troubled for a while, and the context you give is important, that there was an agreement in 2017 that if they, fail to sustain profitability for a period longer than 3 months, any consecutive 3 months, it would trigger these conversations around restructuring. But I still can't reconcile how we go from the group as a whole is shooting the lights out. The CEO is getting his pay package of 300 million rand, which he clarifies is not salary, it's incentives as well as longer-term other benefits. But in its totality, the average South African will be trying to understand how we are here when these are the realities.
No, to this way, it's a very important matter that you are raising, because we will see tomorrow, the company results will again be made available tomorrow, their financial results. And yes, of course, we're sitting with a situation where they say they cannot cross-subsidize between their platinum operations, their gold operations. But, the thing that concerns us, or actually annoys us, is that the top executives, they are getting paid from both the the platinum side and the gold side. So they can cross-subsidize their enormous pay packages, but for the workers, it cannot happen. So obviously, those are the kind of things that will be presented during the consultation process. But we just hope, we can get back to the point with what we've done in 2017 is again to reach amicable solution and alternatives so that we can continue with those operations. That will be the first prize for us, and that was what we will be focusing on, because we don't want to see anybody losing his or her job. But obviously tomorrow's results will obviously give us hopefully also a lot of ammunition to take into the consultation process, because you must understand that we're not talking about 2,000 employees being affected. There's a multiplying effect. There are an average 10 dependents for every mine worker, so that's already, we're looking at close to 20,000 people being affected. It's a local economy being affected around Welkom. We're sitting with a situation where there's an increase in illegal mining activity after every retrenchment process. So there's so much at stake that, from the beginning, both the company and the unions, we need to have an agreement that there will be no job losses and that we'll have to find a way around it. But obviously, the things that you've mentioned, brings a lot of tension into a consultation process like this.
Yeah, all right. I've got to thank you for your time and your insights here on ENCA. Gideon du Plessis from the union Solidarity, talking about the prospect of job losses at Sibanye-Stillwater in their gold operations. Two mines or operations in particular that are being mentioned, Beatrix 4 as well as Kloof 1 being those that are really, should I say, in the crosshairs? Yeah, in the firing line, as it were. All right.